Good morning. It is a really gloomy morning this morning. We had a big storm come through last night. Big storm. It was so far has been a big bunch of nothing up where I'm at. Although I've heard there's been tornadoes. I think I read a headline that said there were 6 people who didn't make it through the storm. So that's sad. But I'm okay so far. The storm looks to be nothing. I kind of reviewed it last night. It just looked like the tail end of it was going to hit us, and I think kind of that's what did, because it was rotating, and this is the tail, and it just wasn't very strong, so I don't know. Anyway, so it's a gloomy day. Figured I might make a nice breakfast. How about some pancakes with apple pie filling, some bacon, and some scrambled eggs. And in order to make these scrambled eggs, because these are eggs that I got from the food pantry, I need to test them. Whoa! I need to not throw them in the water like that. Hopefully it didn't crack. Alright, so I don't know where they get their eggs, and I couldn't even tell you if these are happy eggs. I've seen this brand before, by the way. But these appear to be fine. They are not floating. So I think they're good. Which is good, because I really like scrambled buttery eggs. And I could actually put a little cheese on these this morning. I got some cheese. So we're gonna fancy up this breakfast good. So these are done and they are good. Or not done. These have been tested and they are good. Now if they were up here, that would be bad. So I think my eggie made it. Okay. Can't believe I threw that in the water. Alright. So those are done. This can go away. Oh, and this is the first food video with the new camera, the new tripod, and the new microphone. I actually was listening to some of the cell phone footage, and now that I've heard the echo with this camera, I now hear it in my cell phone too. Sometimes I wonder if that's not the speaker on my desk. I don't know. So that much is done. And what I like about the tripod is it's above the work surface. You can see what's going on. And I can tilt the camera down and get better angles, which was the whole goal. I mean, I know you guys probably don't mind the side shots of the bulls and stuff like that, but it was kind of starting to bother me. So, alright, so what I need now is some bacon. Let me make sure the skillet's clean. This is my skillet. I've been cleaning this for like the last hour. The water here is very limey. So I'm going to put a little water in the pan. I always do. And I'm going to get some bacon out of the freezer. Now I'm hoping this bacon will come apart a little bit, because this is a chunk, and I don't really want to cook the whole chunk. If I cook the whole chunk, I'll be eating breakfast for lunch. It's already 9:30. I think I can get this little bit right here off, maybe. There we go. Alright, so I was able to get some bacon off of there. See if I can get any more off. It's kind of a wimpy piece of bacon. This is a pretty solid chunk. Nope, I don't think I can. I think that was the last. Oh, check it out. I got some more. Sometimes this happens when you go to freeze your raw bacon, where you get just a big chunk of frozen together bacon, but eventually I'm going to have to cook this whole thing and separate it that way. Hey, there's a couple of... Alright, so the next thing I got to do is cook this chunk and then put it in a different bag and freeze it. So next time I want some bacon, I'm going to have to keep that whole chunk. But let's come over here to the stove and take a look at the bacon. This is part of the reason I got this tripod. So that you can see the skillet cooking. Now, sadly, this camera does not have a light on it, and it's a gloomy day, so it's going to be a little bit dark. But there's the bacon cooking, and I'll be back in a minute. I got the bacon, and the water is so that the bacon doesn't immediately burn on the bottom of the pan. It took me a long time to figure out how to store foods without them rotting. And I've since, learned to use a freezer and everything else. But when I was first starting out, I probably wasted 60 to 75% of my food, because at my house, when I was growing up, we didn't put bacon in the freezer. At least not very often. If Mom bought an extra pound of bacon, maybe she would put that one in the freezer. But there was usually a pound of bacon in the fridge. So I would put all my meats in the fridge, unless I wasn't going to eat it that day. And then if I did put them in the freezer, I would put them in the freezer as a whole, like a whole pound of hamburger in its container. I didn't break it apart. I didn't portion it out at all. And because of that, every time I'd go to make something, I would make too much. So it would go in the fridge. Well, after 3 or 4 days, that food is rotten. So it takes a long time to learn how to properly portion and store your food for the number of people in your household so that it doesn't rot. I actually have very, very little waste these days. And it still usually centers around fresh vegetables and especially fruits. This is why I don't buy too many fruits. I don't like them anyway, but they go bad before I can get a hold of them, or before I can eat them. And the food waste problem is part of the reason that you don't see a lot of fresh tomatoes and lettuce in the house. You can't really freeze lettuce. You can freeze cabbage all day long, but not lettuce. And tomatoes you can freeze, but if you want a slice of tomato for your sandwich, it has to be fresh. You can't thaw a tomato and make a tomato slice out of it. All right, let's come over here, and I'm going to do these eggs. The bacon is doing just fine, and it's just dark over here. The kitchen really doesn't have a lot of light in it. And it's especially bad if it's gloomy outside. So I'm going to do the two-bowl method for the eggs. And what I do is I crack one in one bowl. If it passes the final look and smell test, it goes into a second bowl. So I always do 2 bowls with food pantry eggs. And I always water test. Always, always. Well, or maybe not. Bacon is looking good. This is going to be an excellent breakfast. Look at that bacon. So let's do the eggs. I don't know why it does that. The microphone and the thing went off. So I don't know how much sound you lost. But anyway, I am about to crack these eggs into a bowl using my 2-bowl method. And to do this, you crack the egg and you put it in one bowl and you look at it to see if it's okay. And this one is fine. It's got a blood spot in it. Blood spots are very common in brown eggs. They are harmless but unsightly. Let's turn this bacon over. So I'm going to try and dig it out with this spoon. It's unsightly, not hazardous to your health. Well, I'm trying to dig it out. Got it. Okay, so this egg is fine. And we'll do the other egg. This one does. This one had a real tough membrane on it, but otherwise it looks good. Well, a couple pieces were done. Okay, so we're going to finish up making this scrambled egg. Now I'm going to put a dot of milk in it, just a little bit, and some salt. Well, I don't think I've got any salt. Just some pepper, I guess. All I have is this stuff. There we go. Salt and pepper, and I need a fresh fork. So I'm going to scramble this. So that's done. I'm just waiting on it to cook. This bacon's looking real good. I don't really like crispy bacon. I end up accidentally making crispy bacon, but I don't really like it. All right, the bacon is done, and I just got my bowl for the pancake mix done. Just turn it over here, and there's the scale. So this is the scale I use. If you're wondering how much of this breakfast came from the food pantry, it's going to end up being everything but the bacon. Because I made the apple stuff with stuff I got from the food pantry. It's going to be tricky to get it to thaw because there's the apple stuff. I need some water. I need butter too. Although I still do not have actual butter. It is still margarine. I need to put the pan back on the stove. And I'm going to put the butter in the pan so it can melt while I insert this. This is the one I was using for the bacon. It's fine. Although I think I might have used a little too much water on this. Yeah, that's not going to work. That will be really thin, awful pancakes is what that would be. Okay. And I'll add a little vanilla. I'll add a little nutmeg. And I'll add a little cinnamon. I'm almost out of cinnamon. I really need to get some more. Almost out of vanilla too. I really need to get some more of that. Alright, this is looking good. Boy, that is still too thin. We'll see how the first one cooks up. Okay, so we'll go back over here. Unfortunately, it is still very dark over here. Boy, that's tough to see. I just don't have any light over here. But we'll see how it does. This pancake mix in here. Yeah, this kitchen really has terrible light. That's why I have to get everything done, every meal cooked, before the sun goes down. And if it's dark and I don't have any snacks, guess what? I don't eat nothing else. Crackers don't require washing any dishes. And if it's dark outside, it's dark in here, and I can't see well enough to wash any dishes at night. Alright, so there's this. Let's see if it'll flip over. I don't like it when my pancakes are this thin. hard to deal with. So I just realized something. I have to heat up the apple stuff. And I also have to cook the eggs. Put the apple stuff before I cook the eggs. Boy, I hate it when pancakes are thin. These pancakes are just going to be a real challenge to cook. Because they won't, the batter just won't thicken up. Oh, this one might be doing a little better. Nah, maybe not. This is what happens when your pancakes are too thin. I woke up this morning and some apostle thing was playing. I'm just letting it play because it's good background noise. The narrator has a pretty deep voice. It is fairly calm, so I'm just letting it play in the background. Of course, the sound is off while I record the video, but I thought it was interesting. They appear to be going in order of the Bible. And unfortunately, I don't know what story they're telling now, but some dude just grabbed a woman and tossed her onto a bed. But I'm not sure why, because the sound is off. I don't know what Bible story that is. If you know, put it in the comments. Alright, yep. I had someone ask me one time if I'd ever had scrambled pancakes. Of course. That's what happens when the pancakes are super, super obnoxious and they won't turn over right. So this pancake will turn out better, I think. Although there's very little oil left in the skillet, so we'll see. I need to get some more butter in that skillet. And for the record, when I was growing up, we called everything butter, regardless. If it came in a stick in a box with 4 sticks, it's butter. So I'm going to try, and that is not what I wanted to do. Right, this one is not forming the bubbles. Making sure the fire is still on. You never know with this gas company. They charged us 3 years of gas for this one winter this year. I'm getting tired of that. But it wouldn't surprise me if they decided that they needed a 5th year or a 4th year, so they're going to turn off the gas so that you pay them another extra year worth of fuel. I am so tired of greedy companies, I tell you what. Well, this one's not gonna work out well either. Alright, these pancakes are just being challenging this morning. I do not know why. And yes, I've cooked pancakes on top of bacon before. It's usually not this bad. I knew I wouldn't be able to get out today, so I did a lot of my shopping earlier in the week, along with the food pantry, because the food pantry does hand out, a few paper products and cleaning chemicals when they've got them, but it's not enough to cover the whole month or even the whole week. And they only hand that stuff out once a month. So you get paper products, cleaning chemicals, and anything like that they've got, they do that once a month. Boy, oh boy. These just really didn't want to turn out today. Normally I do not have this problem. It is not this bad. And the pancake mix should be in date. what the deal is. I gotta get some more butter in there, and I gotta heat up the apple stuff. Okay, so I'm just gonna put the apple stuff in here. Now this is, I made this with stuff I got from the food pantry. So this apple stuff was free. I get butter, sugar, flour. Well, the spices in here were not free. I did they were my spices, but the apples, the sugar, all of that came from the food pantry. So we're just gonna heat that up. I'm gonna put some foil over that so it'll cook a little quicker. It's a good coffee day. It's gloomy and rainy. It's not really cold. It is 60 degrees outside. It's 64 in my house. It was actually just a hair too warm in the house last night. I was kind of surprised. It never really cooled off last night. Hopefully that's not a sign of things to come for the summer. I saw in the news the other day they were saying, I think it's Australia is going through a heat wave. Now I don't know what the heat wave is. I think the temperature they said was 50, but I don't know what that is. So it's obviously not Fahrenheit. It's probably Celsius, but they didn't give, in the article they did not give the conversion. So that was a tad frustrating. And no, I didn't bother to go look up the conversion. When I do articles that have stuff like that, I do the conversions for all the audiences. So if I don't know whether it's a U.S. article or some other country, if I don't know, I do all the conversions, which means I have to get on Google and do all the conversions. And this article just did not have the conversion. And the reason that you want to put, especially if you don't know who's going to be reading your article, all the conversions, is because when someone has to do a conversion, they have to leave your article. So, for example, the article that was talking about the summer heat wave in Australia, if I wanted to do that conversion and I was reading it on my phone, I would have to shut down the news article, pull up the web browser, and type in the conversion, probably Celsius to Fahrenheit, and then that would tell me what the actual temperature is over in Australia. But then I have to go back to the article on my cell phone. So that's what, when you don't do your conversions, that's what you're telling people they need to do. And here's what you need to think about when you're not doing those conversions. How likely are they to continue reading without doing the conversion? And then how likely are they to come back to your page after they have to go do the conversion somewhere else? You should really make it as easy for your readers as possible. All right, this looks really, really good. So this melted up really, really good. I'm going to put this on the pancakes. Well, now it's ran. But yeah, when you're writing articles, you need to think about, you want people to stay on your page so that they finish the article and then maybe they click on another article on your page. You want to keep people there as long as possible. You don't want to direct them off your site, because once they're off your site, something else may attract their attention and they may not come back. Because you've got to do all your conversions for your audience. Alright, my eggs are just about done. Actually, I'm probably not going to be able to put that butter on there because eggs are pretty much done. Yeah, they're done, unfortunately. Alright, so that's done. So let's come over here and see what this plate looks like. Isn't that cool? Alright, so here's my eggs. Now these are going to be a little bit sweet because of the... Let's taste this. We got some bacon, which should be amazing. Yeah, our bacon's always amazing. We got the pancakes and apples. Excellent. In fact, that tastes better than when I first made them. Pancakes are a little cold, and the eggs are pretty tasty. Yep. All right, folks. There's my breakfast for today. Pancakes with apple pie filling, bacon, and scrambled eggs. All right, that's it for this video. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.